Well, a happy Wednesday afternoon. Welcome to the TNC Sports Talk pregame show, where we will be broadcasting the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Hi, everyone. Justin here for the next about 30 minutes before leading you guys up to first pitch, scheduled at 7:10 Eastern Standard Time at Citi Field in Flushing, New York, where the 25 and 29 Philadelphia Phillies will take on the New York Mets sitting at 28 and 27. Some NL East Division rivalry game. And in our post-game show, in our pre-game show, excuse me, we will get you the lineups, scoreboard, pitching matchups of the evening for game 2 of this 3-game series that will conclude tomorrow. And yesterday's game was a pretty interesting series. I think personally, when it comes down to a series like the Mets, like the Phillies, the NL East has a lot to offer in some really great matchups. Yesterday, the New York Mets beat the Phillies. Final score 2-0. Brandon Nimmo ends up robbing Nick Castellanos and from a home run back in the fourth inning. And then we saw Francisco Lindor hit his 10th home run on a solo fly shot to left field to put the Mets on the board. And then Eduardo Escobar, who singles on a ground ball to second base, to second baseman Bryson Stud, deflected by shortstop Trey Turner. Starling Marte ends up scoring for the second run of the game, and that was all she wrote as the Mets beat the Phillies 2-0. David Robertson picked up his ninth save of the season. Kodai Senga won the game last night for the Mets. He moved to 5-3 with 7 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs, and 9 strikeouts. The losing pitcher was Ranger Suarez, he moves to 0-2 with this. He pitched 6 2/3 of an inning, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, and 4 strikeouts. Francisco Lindor, he went 1 for 3 with a home run, a walk, an RBI, and a run batted in. In yesterday's victory, they look to continue their success leading into today. The Mets are coming into today's game currently in third place, tied with the Miami Marlins, who just actually started playing the Padres game 2 of their 3-game series. They're sitting 28 and 27 as the Mets are 4 games out of first in the NL East, ahead behind Atlanta and Miami. The Mets are also 6-4 over the last 10 games with a 1-game winning streak. The Philadelphia Phillies are 25 and 29, 6.5 games back of first place. They're playing 500 baseball over the last 10 games. They are on a 2-game losing streak. So as we get you guys ready for tonight's ball game, we will go ahead and get you the lineups for both squads, the pitching matchups. We'll take a look here on the pregame show about a triple round, the major leagues and what's going on. Games concluded, games still yet to come. We'll also get you a trip around the standings and where everyone lays back. As of today, we're wrapping up the month of May, second month of baseball, just getting underway. The pregame show is given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios. You could create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews, all thanks to StreamYard.com. Check out the website. Check out the free version today at StreamYard.com. We're getting ready for the Phillies and Mets. Want to thank everyone who is tuning us in. If you guys are watching us live on Facebook, on YouTube, be sure to hit those like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget to have those notifications on so you don't miss a single episode. For those who are tuning us in on Facebook or Twitter, we want to thank you. Hit that like button. share it with a friend. Let them know we're live, and you guys can listen to some live baseball here, right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We were going to take a break, come on back, and give you a little sneak preview about this matchup between the Phillies and the Mets. That all gets ready to kick underway at 7:10 tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to Major League Baseball right here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. What's going on, everyone? Justin here from the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to you, the listeners. That's right. Without you guys, none of this is possible. I would also like to take the time and invite you out to our merchandise page, thanks to T Public. Our merchandise page is where you can find all of our brandings from the Throwing, which is currently active weekly, to the TNC Sports Talk official brands, to either the prior shows that was part of the TNC Sports Talk Foundation. Now, within all the brandings, you can select T-shirts in both men and female sizes, apparel such as hoodies, kids onesies, kids T-shirts, phone cases, notebooks, coffee mugs. They have a vast majority. This is why I love T Public. And right now, if you stand shipping, and so we want to invite you out to our merchandise page by heading on over to tpublic.com/user/TNC-sports-talk, or even using the QR code up in the right-hand corner. We want to thank you guys again, the listeners, for supporting us, and we hope to see you guys out wearing our merchandise. Alrighty, welcome on back here to the TNC Sports Talk pregame show, where we will be giving you a production broadcast from between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. My name is Justin. We'll be getting you guys ready for the game coming up here just about 20 minutes from now, where the Philadelphia Phillies will be taking on the New York Mets. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Last night, the Mets beat the Phillies 2-0, looking to repeat their night from last night. We'll see how that goes. Coming into tonight's game, the standings for the NL East, the Atlanta Braves sit out in first place with 32-23. Miami Marlins are 28-27, 4 games back of the Atlanta Braves. So is the New York Mets at 28-27. The Philadelphia Phillies sit in fourth place, 25-29. Washington Nationals sit in the last place with 23-32, 9 games back of the NL East. Today's pitching matchup will be right-handed pitcher Aaron Nola will get the mound call for Philadelphia. He's 4-3 with a 4.59 ERA and 60 strikeouts on the season. He last pitched back on Friday, as the Phillies continue a 4-man rotation in that with starting pitchers. They played against the Braves on Friday night. He went 6 innings, giving up 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. In the last 7 games, he's 3 for 1 with a 3.99 ERA, 47 and a third of an inning pitch, 37 hits, 21 runs, 9 walks batted in this year. In the last 7 games and 41 strikeouts. The New York Mets pitcher is the right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco. He's 1-2 on the season with the 6.75 ERA and 15 strikeouts. He last pitched against the Chicago Cubs on the road at Wrigley Field back on Thursday. He won the game going 6 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 1 run allowed, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. In the last 7 games, he went 1 for 2 with the 6.75 ERA, 25 and a third of an inning throughout the 2023, throughout the last 7 games so far this season. 24 hits allowed, 19 runs batted in, scored on him, 12 walks, and 15 strikeouts. So, like I said, the NL East is a incredible division. They were pretty big last season. I remember calling ball games at the end of September, and it was the Mets and the Braves that went down to the final game of the season and to determine who was going to win the division. And the Atlanta Braves went on to win the division. The Mets got the wild card spot. So did the Phillies, thanks to the new bracket formation that the playoffs presented. And 3 teams out of the East made it to the postseason in the National League last season, looking to repeat that this year. And you look at the division so far, and you see Miami. They kind of just like last season. They hung in there, for a good while of the season until eventually getting knocked off. So things to get excited about this. Every time an NL East divisional game appears, it's always it's always fascinating to get involved with. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come on back, let's get you around the horn with the out-of-town scoreboard. Want to give a shout out to Canva. All the videos, overlay presentations is given to you thanks to Canva. Canva.com. You can allow to create videos, presentations, flyers, Facebook, YouTube videos, whatever you want to make, all thanks to Canva. Canva is the TNC Sports Talk #1 format to go when we want to create something exciting. Excited to talk about it. Check out canva.com for more information. All right, going to take a break. Come on back. Give you out of town scoreboard here. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk show, pregame show. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back here to the TNC Sports Talk Show's pregame show between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. It's time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. You guys can head on over to MLB.com to check out all the latest scores, highlights, and news here. All right, kicking things off, a couple games. It is a Wednesday afternoon, halfway through the week. We have a couple games already concluded. A lot of games actually concluded today. Starting off with Pittsburgh and San Francisco, the game that we called back on Memorial Day. Pittsburgh ended up going on to beating the Giants this afternoon at a final score 9-4. The Atlanta Braves beat the Oakland Athletics 4-2. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Baltimore Orioles 12-8. And the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Chicago Cubs 4-3. Los Angeles Angels beat the Chicago White Sox 12-5. And the Tigers with a 3-2 win over Texas. Couple games heading right now. It is currently 10-6. Washington leading over the Dodgers in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Padres and the Marlins just getting underway. Couple games about to start here at the top of the hour. Milwaukee Brewers over in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. The Cincinnati Red Sox, after a 9-8 victory last night, goes on to face the Red Sox again here. A couple first pitches under a couple of minutes away. Philadelphia Phillies will take on the New York Mets, which we will be calling here in just a little bit, as we will get ready for the games later on this afternoon. At 8:10, we'll have the Minnesota Twins taking on the Houston Astros. The Colorado Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks will be MLB's TV free game of the day. That first pitch is at 9:40, and the last game of the evening is a 9:40 Yankees and Mariners game. That is your out-of-town scoreboard as well. A quick look at the standings here. Over in the American League East, we have Tampa Bay, Baltimore, New York, Toronto, and Boston in that order. Baltimore has four games back of Tampa Bay. In the AL Central, we'll have Minnesota, Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago White Sox, and Kansas City, with the Tigers a game and a half back of Minnesota. In the American League West, we'll have Texas Rangers, Houston, Los Angeles Angels, and Seattle and Oakland, with the Astros 2.5 games back of that division. We presented the NL East here with the Atlanta Braves, Miami Marlins, New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies, and Washington Nationals. Miami and New York are 4.5 games back after Atlanta's victory earlier today. Milwaukee Brewers is leading the NL Central a half a game above Pittsburgh Pirates, following Cincinnati, St. Louis, and in last place, 4.5 games back, is the Chicago Cubs. We'll also have the Dodgers, Arizona Diamondbacks, San Francisco Giants, San Diego Padres, and the Colorado Rockies in the NL West, with Arizona a half a game ahead. All right, well, that will conclude our pregame show. Coming up next, we'll get you guys lineups and first pitch for tonight's ball game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Be sure to tune us back in after the program for a TNC Sports Talk Show post-game show. Thanks to StreamYard Studios. Create your podcast, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out StreamYard.com today. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be right back with your opening pitch of tonight's ball game. Well, it is a beautiful afternoon in City Field, and what a great way to spend the afternoon with some Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Hi, everyone. Justin here, ready to call the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Game two of a three-game series. They'll wrap up tomorrow's game at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before we could get to that, we got to get have game two of this three-game series getting ready to get underway in just a few moments. And yesterday was a nice, fun ball game for those who tuned in to the Phillies and Mets game alone. I did not call the game. Last game we actually called was back on Memorial Day between the Pirates and the Giants, and we saw a lot of great stuff. And Monday's game was the type of game that you want to be able to call because you had a little bit of everything: base running, great pitching, home runs, a couple of balls landing into the Bay Area. What a wonderful game. And we're hoping for the same thing tonight. Last night was a low scoring game between the Mets and the Phillies. It kicked things off in the fourth inning when Francisco Lindor hit his 10th home run on the season to left field to give the Mets a early 1-0 lead. Eduardo Escobar will single up on a ground ball to the second baseman Bryson Stutt, and deflected it by shortstop Trey Turner, scoring in Starley Marte to give the Mets the second and final run as the Mets pull away with a victory. Cody Senga, believed to have one of his better performance last night as he picks up a victory. He moves to 5-3, 7 innings pitched in last night's ball game, giving up only one hit, allowing no runs, nine strikeouts. Ranger Suarez, he went 0 for 2 with 6 and 2/3 of an inning, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, and 4 strikeouts. David Robinson picked up his ninth save of the season. Francisco Lindor was the highlight of last night's game. He went 1 for 3 with a home run, a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. And so as the Mets hopefully are capable of doing that again, we'll take a look at tonight's ball game as the right-handed pitcher Aaron Nola will get the nod for the Phillies. He is 4 for 3 on the year with a 5.9 ERA and 60 strikeouts. As Carlos Carrasco is the New York Mets starting pitcher today, right-handed pitcher. He started a little late of the season. He's 1 for 2 with the 6.75 ERA and 15 strikeouts. Excited to call this ball game. We're going to step aside. When we come on back, we'll get you the starting lineup and followed by the first pitch. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Well, welcome on back here to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's ball game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets as they get ready. We'll get you all the lineups and all of that here in a minute. But first pitch to Bryson Stott is on the outside for a ball one. Today's lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies is given by Rob Thompson, the manager. We'll give you that here in a second. As Carrasco sets, and the first pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Stott. Bryson Starks will be leading things off, batting second. At shortstop is Trey Turner. Batting third, the designated hitter is Bryce Harper. The cleanup spot in right field is Nick Castellanos. Batting fifth in left field is Kyle Schwarber. 2-0 pitch is in there, called for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. JT Realmuto will do the catching. He'll be batting sixth. Batting seventh in center field is Brandon Marsh. Batting eighth at first base is Cody Clemens. And batting ninth at third base, Edmundo Sosa. This is a fly ball out to left field for Kana, who will make the grab. With one away here, position players from left to right is Mark Kana, and left. In center is going to be Brandon Nimmo, who robbed Nick Castellanos from a home run last night, and we'll have starting Marte in right field. At third base is Brett Batty. At shortstop is Francisco Lindor. Jeff O'Neill at second. First base is Pete Alonso. Doing the catching is Tomas Nido. Here's the first pitch to Trey Turner, and it's on the inside for a ball, 1-0. First pitch of today's ball game is at 7:10. Weather is 69 degrees and clear. 7-mile winds going out to left field. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's down in the dirt. It's 2 balls, no strike. Today's umpires call balls and strikes is Chris Giussioni. At first base is Trip Gibson. Edwin Jimenez is at second base. And at third base is Edwin Moscoso. Here's 2 balls, no strike pitch, chop foul. Today's ball game, given thanks to StreamYard Studios, create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews, thanks to StreamYard.com. Game 2 of a 3-game series, the New York Mets took game 1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This is popped up and fouled back. It's 2-2. Had fun calling the baseball games. We got to get scheduled to doing more baseball games. You could tell last time we were out of it back early on. Back on Monday against the Pirates and Giants. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's down in dirt. Turner's worked himself to a full count. Bryce Harper is up next. The Phillies got shut out. They're in 4th place of the NL East. Here's the payoff pitch. This one is chopped to third short. Lindor scoops it up, throws it over to first, and making the grab is your first baseman Alonso for out number 2. The Philadelphia Phillies coming into today's game wearing the gray tops, gray bottoms, red stitching on the names with the white on the outline of the Phillies, while the Mets, blue tops, white bottoms. And it's the solid white bottoms, which the orange letters. This is lined into center for a base hit. 2-out knock by Bryce Harper gets things going for the Phillies. You ever put the Mets and the Phillies together, this is always a great combination. Great rivalry here throughout the courses of the last couple of years. Both teams making it to the playoffs. The Philadelphia Phillies, who made it to the World Series, beating the Padres in the NLCS. The Mets dropping out of first place in the NL East the last weekend of the series, losing to the Braves. This one's up and in to Nick Castellanos. Castellanos, 295, 5 home runs on the season, 28 RBIs with an 806 OPS. As Harper's on first, 1-0 pitch. This one's lined back to the screen. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Castellanos against Carrasco. 245 with 2 RBIs. Carlos Carrasco, 1 for 2, right-handed pitcher, 6.75 ERA with 15 Ks so far this season. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's in the dirt. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Last pitch on Thursday against the Cubs on the road. He picked up the win going 6 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Just getting underway here against the Phillies and Mets. Here's the 2-1 chop foul along the third base side. Just 2 balls, 2 strikes in Center Field, Flushing, New York. Today's game will have all your good insights, trivia questions from both Phillies and the New York Mets. We'll have the Phillies in the 4th inning, talking about the division and all that good stuff. All the fun stuff that we include in a Major League broadcast. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's caught him looking. First strikeout of the game, and the Phillies go down, leaving a man on. It's coming up the Mets. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. The New York Mets are coming up to bat. They are coming into today's game 28 and 27. 3rd place in the NL East. Batting first in center field, leading things off is Brandon Nimmo. Batting second at shortstop is Francisco Lindor. Jeff McNeil is batting third at second base. First baseman is Pete Alonso. He'll be batting cleanup. Batting fifth at third base is Brett Batty. Batting sixth in right field, starting Marte. Daniel Vogelback will be batting seventh, doing the designated hitter's role position. Batting eighth in left field is Mark Hanna, and batting ninth, the catcher, Tomas Nido. First pitch is in there. It's a 4-seam fastball called for a strike 0-1 to Nimmo. The pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies is Aaron Nola, right-handed pitcher, 0-1 count. Here's the pitch down in the dirt, 1-1. Right-handed pitcher Aaron Nola is 4 for 3 on the season, 4.59 ERA with 60 strikeouts. Last pitched on Friday against Atlanta on the road. He went 6 innings, giving up 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Here's the 1-1. That's on the inside. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. And man, yeah, I gotta love these series. I enjoyed them a lot last year. Looking forward to them again. And it's always crucial. I like to, when I call these ball games, I like to have a versatile, mix. There's a fly ball out to left field. Going back is actually third baseman in Mudo Sosa to make the grab for 1 away. Pop out 5 if you guys are scoring that. Take a defensive position around the horn for the Phillies. Left to right, we have Kyle Schwarber in left field, Brandon Marsh in center field, Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos, in right field. We'll have Edmundo Sosa, who made the catch at third base. Shortstop is Trey Turner. Second baseman is Bryson Stott. First baseman is Cody Clemens. First pitch in there to Lindor was a ball, four seam on the inside. 227, 10 home runs this year, 40 RBIs for Lindor. 1 for 3 in yesterday's victory. Is in there for a strike, 1-1. He hit that solo home run back in the fourth inning of last night's ball game. That's all they really needed as the Phillies were shut out. And here's a 1-1 pitch. It's up high, 2 balls, 1 strike. You had Eduardo Escobar, who had an RBI single to short, or to second base, excuse me. They extend the Mets last night 2-0. Snapping a losing streak here. This one's popped up in the infield, calling it his home play. Is the catcher, JT Realmuto, for out number 2. Buck Showalter is the New York Mets GM. And I look at the Phillies lineup compared to the Mets lineup. You know, a lot of familiar names, a lot of dangerous names that you don't want to face. Guys like Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, Vogelback, who came from Oakland. Stepping in is McNeil. Here's the first pitch. This one's popped up outfield, left field side. Shy going back is third baseman Sosa to retire the side. 1-2-3 goes the Mets after the first inning. We're scoreless here on the TNT Sports Talk YouTube channel. Kyle Schwarber steps in as we begin the top of the second inning, tied at 0. If you guys are looking to, I'm going to put it this way, you guys check out MLB.com for all your news, highlights, and scores. MLB.com has all that information. Check the little standings, local teams, and even to send links to get tickets. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 3 last night. 2 strikeouts on the radar, looking to turn things around this afternoon. Carrasco stands in, only throwing 16 pitches in the first inning. Takes the first pitch in, called for a strike. Schwarber is 166, 13 home runs, 27 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 count. This is fouled. It's 0-2. Looking at a couple of games here, mainly in the division, which both two of the three teams playing so far have concluded. We'll get to that score in a minute. Here's the 0-2. This one's chopped down the first base side, just foul. The Dodgers fell short this afternoon, wrapping up a series against the Nationals at home. Nationals won 10-6. As the Braves beat the Athletics on the road 4-2 this afternoon. And the only game continuing going on, this one is in there, called for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber. There's the 1-2, chopped it down to first baseman. Pete Alonso will take it to the bag himself for the first out of the inning. Scores a 3-U there. The only game that's in progress other than this one that's in the NL East is the Padres and the Marlins at home. The Padres are currently leading this game in the top of the third or top of the fourth inning, 1-0. As JD Realmuto steps in for his first plate appearance of the night. Carrasco sets, and it's in there for a ball, 1-0. Realmuto 0 for 2 last night, 263 on the year, 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. When the Phillies put this roster together over several years, here's the 1-0 pitch. This is fouled back. It's 1-1. You think about adding some key guys. It had to start off with Bryce Harper, one of the elite, coming over from Washington. And I remember talking about there's a lot of teams interested in Bryce Harper. Philadelphia snagged them. 1-1 count. This is on the outside. And, you added on guys like Realmuto a couple years later, and then Schwarber from Chicago. Castellanos from Cincinnati. This one's down to the dirt. 3 balls, 1 count. 1 strike to Realmuto. 1 away here in the second. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Well, you kind of put together this winning team. Last year, you picked up Trey Turner from LA. And you really look to go out and actually win something big and promising. And here's the 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game, 2 away here in the second. And you kind of really think, though, that this is a team that you want to contend. I mean, Philadelphia has been the contending team from way back when. And they don't even have a complete roster out there right now. No Alex Bohm. Was nowhere to be found. Brandon Marsh steps in. He's a center fielder this afternoon for the Phillies. This one, first pitch is on the outside for a ball, 1-0. And the Phillies went to the World Series last year, dropping it to the Astros, beating the Padres. And this one's on the inside, just 2 balls, no strikes. And you look at this team, and this is a dangerous team. I mean, they didn't play with the long ball. They didn't hit 20, 40, home runs in the playoffs. They played it with the small ball. Simple out, simple scoring. This one's flied out to left center field. No one's going to get down to it. In between the gap of left center, heading all the way to second, I believe, is Brandon Marsh with the stand-up double. Second hit for the Phillies this afternoon. Extends this inning. And that was a nice little rally going on here, hopefully. Trying to accumulate the first run of the game. Cody Clemens steps in. Marsh leads off on second. Carrasco sets. And here's the pitch. This one's swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. I mean, the Phillies had to make it to the World Series being the road team. And they got the job done up into the World Series. This one's a fly out to left field. A few steps in is Mark Canha to end the inning. One retired on second. Runner stranded. We still got a scoreless ball game here heading to the bottom of the second inning. Be sure to check out the Mets and the Phillies webpage by heading over to MLB.com/Mets and MLB.com/Phillies. The Phillies and the Mets will wrap up a 3-game series tomorrow afternoon at 1:10 first pitch. Philadelphia will have Taijuan Walker on the mound, 4 for 2 with the 5.57 ERA, as the New York Mets will have Max Scherzer, 4 and 2, 3.54. After tomorrow's wrap up of the series, Philadelphia will head over to Washington to face the Nationals in a 3-game series. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Washington has tomorrow off to head back home. First pitch into Alonso is in there for a strike, and the Phillies will stay home to have and take on the Toronto Blue Jays as they head into town. Tickets are still available. Get your tickets at MLB.com/Mets. Those web pages are very helpful. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is a fly ball out, popped up actually in the infield. Back to Clemens at first. Had to take a few steps to the left to make the grab one away. Check the news, transactions, all that fun stuff at these individual websites. Talking about transactions, as third baseman Brett Beatty steps in. 246 on the season, and Nola is having issues with his hat, the earpiece, and looks like they're going to go out and replace it. We'll take a technical error timeout. Transactions going on. First baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies, first baseman Derek Hall and catcher Rafael Marchin is sent down to Clearwater Threshers on a rehab assignment. And also right-handed pitcher Jacob Barnes was signed to a minor league deal yesterday. New York Mets, they signed outfielder Eric Fogo to a minor league deal and designated for assignment right-handed pitcher Jimmy Yacobonis. Those are your transactions made as of yesterday. First pitch in there to Batty. It's in there for a called strike. Headset's all cleared. Aaron Nola, one of those dangerous pitchers 1-0 pitch, chop foul along the first base side. It's 2-0. Nola and Nola. Austin Nola, in that matter, the catcher for the Padres, played in a series National League Championship Series last year against each other. Padres beat the Mets. The Dodgers dropped it to the Phillies. This one's chop foul again. No balls and 2 strikes to Matt Beatty. The Mets, on the other hand, we talked about the Phillies and their playoff run and how their team is put together. This pitch is down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You have Lindor, who's come in, trying to make it kind of a comeback year. Along with Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso, home run king from that perspective. This one's popped up in the infield. Third baseman Sosa is getting a lot of work in there. He makes the grab for 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Coming up next is Starling Marte. Marte is batting .375 with a home run and 3 RBIs against Nola. 9 for 44 on the year. This one's fouled for a strike. Marte is batting .250 with 2 home runs and a .316 on base percentage. He was 2 for 3 last night's ballgame with the run scored in and a stolen base. Here's the 0-1. That one's up high and in. Looked like it got him on the inside elbow, but actually just tipped off of actually nodded off the knob of the bat there. So that's actually no balls and 2 strikes because it hit the bat. Here's the 0-2. This one is chopped foul again. 2 outs, nobody on. Scoreless ball game here in inning number 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Marte. A nice tapper over to short for Turner. Quick throw over to first to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 go down the Mets. We're through 2, tied at 0 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Alrighty, we are back at the top of the 3rd inning here. And it is tied at 0. I want to invite you guys out to check out, if you have not done so, subscribe over to our TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, or you could check out the daily podcast of the throw-in to our daily podcast, talking about Cincinnati sports, baseball, football, professional wrestling, all of that good stuff there. Check out the ball games and all the other episodes going on. Everything you can find out on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, and check out their website, www.tncsportstalkshow.com. First pitch in is inside for a called ball. Edmundo Sosa, 261, 3 hits, 11 RBIs on the season. Carrasco sets and delivers. That was outside. 2 balls, no strikes. You can check all the games up on that website, blogs, and much more. 2-0 pitch, swings and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch, line drive out to left field, going back to the wall, and that is going to be off the top of the wall, and they're going to issue a home run as that hit the fence, as it hit the black fence up top of the wall there, and Edmundo Sosa hits a solo home run, 4th on the year, to give the Phillies 1-0 lead. And that was a pitch on the inside, and that didn't look like it had enough, but it literally just hit the top of the wall. And if that gate that's above the fence in New York, if that wasn't there, it would have clearly been gone, but it hit the fence, bounced back in. And a good eye from both second and third base umpire as a swing and a miss to Stutt as we return to the bottom of the lineup. And that's a good call, like I said, to the second and third base umpires. Here's a liner into center field, base hit for Bryson Stutt as you get a man on board with no away. And that was a call made by both of the Edwins, Jimenez and Moscoso, and it was Moscoso who actually ran out and made that official decision that it was a home run for Edmundo Sosa, his 4th of the year. And now we sit with Trey Turner up at bat. He takes first pitch on the outside bottom corner for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 Phillies as we're in the 3rd inning. The Phillies have now had a hit in all first 3 innings. This one comes with no outs. So check back at first. Head first, slide in safely. It's Stutt. And just getting in during commercial break, we will be calling tomorrow afternoon's ball game. First pitch is at 1:10. Pregame show is at 12:40. This one's a swing, chop, foul, left field side. Count goes 1-1. 0-1 with the ground out for Trey Turner. That's 239, 5 home runs on the season. Carrasco sets, checks the runner on first, and delivers to the mound. This one's chopped over to short. Lindor throws it over to first and in time for out number 1. Stutt advances to second. And the way I think of this one, Lindor, smart play, because Lindor had to backhand it as he was moving to the left side of the field towards third base. And instead of most shortstops will try to make that double play, but he didn't force it with Stutt's speed, throws it over to first and got him with a very couple inches to spare. as Bryce Harper steps in. First pitch is in there, called for a strike. Harper singled to center his last at bat. 1-for-1. See if the Phillies could add on to their 1-0 lead here. This one's chopped foul right field side. No balls and 2 strikes. Talking about Bryce Harper here for a moment. He's yet to lead any of the team leaders for Philadelphia this season. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and Harper goes down on strikes 2 away. Third strikeout for Carrasco, as he's already at 44 pitches here in the third. Team leaders for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos leads with batting average and runs scored. Kyle Schwarber with the most home runs at 13. Alex Bohm with 37 RBIs. Castellanos steps in. There's the pitch. Chopped it foul right. Chopped it up the middle for the catcher. Nido throws it over to first, and that will retire the side. Well, it wasn't done without a home run, but with the man stranded, the Phillies are out front 1-0. You're listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Seven, 8, 9 here due up in New York for the Mets. The Phillies out early 1-0 as they so far have 1 run on 4 hits here tonight. Talking about leading players in their own team franchise. Pete Alonso leads runs, home runs, and RBIs, as we have Daniel Vogelback stepping in today. Vogelback 0-for-1 yesterday with the strikeout. Comes into today's game 221. First pitch on the inside for a ball. 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. And mentioned earlier, confirming that we'll be back here tomorrow at 12:40 for the pregame show between the Mets and the Phillies, as this one gets away 2-0. Game 3, 12:40 pregame show. First pitch 1:10, as we will have Taijuan Walker up on the mound, taking on Max Scherzer. Check that here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. 2 balls, no strikes to Vogelback. That's on the outside. Vogelback is batting .375 against Nola, 1 RBI. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's on the inside. And a 4-pitch walk draws Vogelback on the mound. As a runner's on first, nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Stepping in is Marcana, the 8th batter, takes the pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Kana is batting .233, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. You know, I was talking about having, early at the beginning of this game, I was talking about having a diversity when it comes down to calling ball games and trying to get a mix of teams. This one's on the inside, called for a strike. Count goes 1-1. And I just, you know, I'm calling the game from the East Coast. So a lot of times it's convenient to call a game that's also on the East Coast. Try to do it in the mix of my schedule. And I haven't really been on the program of the throw-in as of late, dealing with a lot of meetings, a lot of things going on. This one's inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. And this is kind of the way I'm trying to get back into things. Also waiting for maintenance man to show up to my place. Here's the 2-1. This is hit. Long fly ball. That is up high left field. And that is out of here. 2-run blast by Marcana. 4th home run on the season. And that puts the Mets out in front 2-0. Vogelback scores just as Kana whips around third. 98.8 miles per hour exit velocity there. And just like that, things have changed. This is a nice hit. Right down the middle, over the plate. You're not going to be, you know, this is why this division is so good. And so entertaining. First pitch is grounded foul from Tomas Nido. You know, it's things like this where you're not going to be able to make mistakes like Aaron Nola did moments ago to a good team like the Mets. Don't be surprised that they're in third place. They're tied with the Marlins right now. This one's check swings with the first base umpire. Says he didn't go around. Or it says he says he didn't. 1-1. This one's here. High fly ball out to left field. Going back to the warning track. It's going to be Schwarber for out number 1 of the inning. Almost there. Almost for a second one. Back to the top of the lineup with Brandon Nimmo, who popped up back in the first. But it's going to be, you know, these type of games where you're not going to, between the Mets and between the Phillies and even the Braves, you're not going to be able to make many mistakes. And Aaron Nola, it made his first mistake of the ball game, letting that ball too far over the plate. Marcana is able to capitalize and take advantage of that. First pitch into Nimmo. It's on the outside swing and called for a strike. Flew out back in the first. 299, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, 824 OPS. Here's the 0-1. This one is swinging a foul. I think it's going to be a nice close weight race again this season between the Mets. My interesting take is going to see how far the Marlins are going to go this season. Check swings on the outside. Didn't go around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Mets and the Braves were the two teams last year that dominated the East. Miami hung in there for a bit, but this one's on the inside. It's 2-2. 2-1 Mets lead. All three runs from combined scored here in the third inning. Here's the 2-2. This one is chopped foul. Join us in the fourth inning, bringing back the trivia question game. Give you a trivia question and 4 answers. There's the 2-2 pitch swing, and a Mets goes down. Nimmo out number 2. And then the bottom of the fourth inning, we give you the results. Join us along on our TNC Sports Talk YouTube page. Francisco Lindor steps up. He's 0 for 1, popped out at home plate back in the first inning. Had a solo home run yesterday's ball game. This one's outside. It's 1-0. Lindor batting .226 with 10 home runs, 40 RBIs. Having himself a nice year so far. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the inside. Here's the 40th pitch by Nola. This one is chopped foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. You look at teams comparison then today, we see the Padres struggling. And honestly, you thought maybe the Dodgers would have struggled with how much talent they had to give up, and they're still thriving in first place in the NL West. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fly ball out to right field. Coming on over to the right field side is Nick Castellanos to make the grab. Well, we saw a 2-run blast by Mark Canha. Gives the Mets the lead 2-1 after 3. Well, the Mets are out front 2-0 here as we begin the top of the fourth inning tonight at Citi Field, and we'll bring him back once again. The trivia questions, thanks to Useful Trivia, usefultrivia.com. where you can find all your sports trivia question needs. Tonight's question is we kick off with the New York Mets as we ask you guys, who was the first New York Mets pitcher to throw a no-hitter? As a first pitch is inside for a ball for Kyle Schwarber. Is it A, Tom Seaver, B, Jesse Orozco, C, Dwight Gooden, or D, Johan Santana? This is in there. Called for a strike. 1-1. Now the count to Schwarber. Schwarber 0 for 1 tonight. Guys, locking your answers in the comment section below. This one's chopped likely to second. Picking up is O'Neill. Throws over to first for the first out. Which was the first New York Mets pitcher to throw a no-hitter? A, Tom Seaver, B, Jesse Orozco, C, Dwight Gooden, or D, Johan Santana? Answer will be revealed at the bottom of the inning. First pitch to Remuto is in there for a called strike. Thinking about that one, I don't know. I like either Johan Santana or Tom Seaver. My baseball knowledge, I find out lately it's whack. No balls, one strike to Remuto. The check swings. Check with the first base umpire. He said he went. Thanks to Trip Gibson. It's now 1-1. Mets are out front, 2-1 here in the inning number 4. Couple home runs last inning. Here's the pitch up high. It's 1-2. This one's for Remuto, powerful guy. Getting traded over to Philadelphia. This one's on the outside corner. Rings him up, calls for a strike. 2 quick outs. Stepping up is Brandon Marsh. And gotta ask yourself, throughout the course of the season, and I've never really been all that fascinated into everything that these up until recent times. It's a fly ball out to center field, coming over to the left side is Nimmo, and he'll make the grab after running it down at the running tracks. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. We're 3.5 in, 2-1 Mets. 3-4-5 due up here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Welcome back here to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Want to thank everyone for coming out and tuning in. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Be sure to have those notifications on, and so you don't miss a single action when we go live, whether that's show, we'll call it a ball game, whatever the case. Make sure you have that like, share, subscribe, and notifications on. First pitch on the way to O'Neill. It's in there, called for a strike. Jeff popped out back in the first inning. The ending inning. 2-1 Mets lead here at Citi Field. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's on the outside, just 1-1. A nice, cool summer afternoon. Still 69 degrees outside. This is a fly ball out to right field. Castellanos, a few steps away from the warning track to make the grab one away. Tonight's Mets trivia question here in the fourth. At the top of the inning, we asked who was the first New York Mets pitcher to throw a no-hitter? Was it A, Tom Seaver, or B, Jesse Orosco, D, Dwight Gooden, C, Dwight Gooden, or D, Johan Santana? As Pete Alonso steps in, give the answer here in just a bit. I was either complexing over Santana or Seaver. First pitch is inside for a ball. I'm going to go with Seaver, A. Lock in your answers on the comment section. This is a 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a call strike, 1-1. Yeah, I'm going Seaver. Let me see if that's correct. Nope. Alonso 0 for 1 tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one's lined right through the left field side past the diving Sosa at third base. A 1-out base hit. As the Mets get something going here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Now this is a nice, just basic hit. Diving attempt by Sosa, a little too far away. I give Sosa credit. I like when players really go the extra mile to try to get a ball. One of them just say, "Oh, I'll forget, it's too far out." Stepping is Brett Batty, 0 for 1. Alonso on first. Here's the first pitch down low. The correct answer is Johan Santana. On June 1st, 2012, Santana threw a no-hitter against the St. Louis Cardinals. The first no-hitter in the New York Mets then 51-year franchise history. Wow. A swing and a miss, and Batty goes to 1-1. 51 years history, and there's only the first no-hitter was Johan Santana. Good pitcher also. Great, a lot of successful times early on in the early 2010s. The teens, and this one's low. 2 balls, 1 strike to Beatty. And the Mets are looking to bring that back there. They look like a solid team. They have the right players. I mean, their investment in Pete Alonso. Here's the 2-1 down low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Mets have been around for a while. Took them a while. But you know what? Stuff like that just doesn't surprise anymore, do you? Here's the 3-1 pitch that's down low, and a walk is issued to Batty. 2-man on for Daniel Vogelbach, who grounded out, or Starling Marte, excuse me. Marte grounded out to short last plate appearance. There's only one out here in the fourth. Here's the first pitch to Marte. It's in there for a called strike. We'll thank you guys for playing. If you guys left a comment down below, we encourage you to stop back into the eighth inning, where we give you a Philadelphia Philly trivia question given to you thanks to Useful Trivia, usefultrivia.com. Here's the 0-1 swing and a miss, strike two. You know, the only team that hasn't been really successful as the last couple of years. I mean, I know the Marlins made a postseason run in 2020. That was given to a short season. The Marlins seem to be a team, and this one's down in the dirt. It's 1-2 strikes. The Marlins seem to be a team that really gets off to a fine start last couple of years. They look like they could contend in July, August, September, and somewhere along that back end of the season, they just start falling apart. They pick up Skip Schumacher. And it doesn't seem they can complete. This one's out down in the dirt on the outside plate. Count goes 2-2. The Padres still lead the Marlins 1-0, bottom of the sixth inning. A ground ball would be perfect here. There's now a trip to the mound to check on Nola. Trying to maybe recheck his counts. Give him a breather. 56 pitches here in the fourth inning. Also had his the call band in his hat had an issue back at the beginning of the game. One issued mound visit to Philadelphia. 2-1, the Mets lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2 men on with 1 out. It's 2-2 count to Starling Marte. Vogelback's up next. A ground ball is issued for Philadelphia. This is a pop-up out right field side, going to get into foul territory. Double play will get you out of the inning. Anywhere on the field will be useful. As Marte sets, Nola delivers, swing and a miss, and Marte goes down on strikes. The second strikeout of the game for Nola. And that's another thing with these with the pitch clock and with the shift with the limits of being able to shift players all over the place. You really want, how do I put this? You really want, you've been very offense. There's more offense being put into play. First pitch to Vogelback's on the outside for a ball. There's walks and of course there's strikeouts, and you're going to have those days where you strike out 8-9 guys. I mean, we saw it last night when Senga striking out 9. This one's up and in. But, I've really seen 2 types of pitchers out there on the mound. It's either pitchers that can get into the rhythm or pitchers that can. And with the pitch clock down to 15 seconds with no runners on, 20 seconds to with runners on, the limitation of two off steps or pitch back to first base, I really believe that a lot of pitchers in this scenario are unfavored. As really to the play experience of the batter, they can adjust to it. Pitchers have to really, I think, adjust more. This one's up high and in. It's 3-0 to Vogelback. And this is what we're seeing, I think, in right now. Right now with Nola is this adjustment. I'm not saying that he's unable to adjust, but there's times where if you're a starting pitcher and you got runners on first and second, and you really got to take a step back, and this one's on the outside, and Austin Nola, there you have it, walking the bases loaded here, and it's either you have what it takes or you don't have what it takes, and this is something that gets pays attention to. Pitching mound visit here, so we'll take a little quick word break as we look for that. As the pitching mound visit is over, we'd like to invite you out to volunteer at the upcoming Italian Festival in Northern Kentucky, June 8th through June 11th. For more information, email enlightenedstudios.cincy@gmail.com. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Mark Canha. First pitch is in there for a strike. Canha had the 2-run home run last inning, scoring in Vogelbach off of a walk to left field, putting the Mets up front 2-0. Here's the pitch on the outside corner, called for a strike. Canha is down 0-2. Enlightened Studios has a lot of festivals going on this summer. They just had one last weekend. Taste of Cincinnati. I want to thank everyone who participated and volunteered their service. You volunteer today and keep your tips as a incentive to volunteer. This Italian festival will be in Newport on the Levee. This one's down low, 1-2. Newport on the Levee. Stop by the aquarium. Enjoy some wonderful food, drinks, and beverages. That Enlightened Studios runs a lot of those vendors. Keep your tips. Wonderful time. It's a fly ball out to left field, and Clemens couldn't get to it in time. It's 1-2. So bases all loaded, 2 away. I don't think there's really much of an option other than to swing for it. You got 2 strikes on you, so I wouldn't go lay down a bunt. I think that's out of the question. Well, for the Mets, is this an opportunity? You don't get many of these opportunities to drive in a couple more insurance runs. And for Carrasco, who the pitch count was maybe an issue an inning ago, but with Austin Nola getting into this type of jam, this is a swing over the second baseman's head. Coming in to score will be Alonso. Following him is Batty. Marte is going to wind up on third, and that will be a 2-run RBI single to extend the Mets 4-0. And I got to correct myself because Vogelbach did not extend to third. He stayed at second. But that was a nice 2-strike pitch, a little up high, and a nice jump. Nice jump by Stutt. But you knew as soon as that ball was going, Alonso and Batty was scoring easy. So another 4 RBI night now for Mark Canha. Stepping in is Nido, who swings and a miss for the first pitch. Strike. Talking about advancing some runners and adding to the lead that you have. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike. 0-2. This was just that was just plate protection from Kana, and it paid off. Paid off big time. A runner on first and second. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And the inning is retired. 2 runs score. A couple man left on. The Mets extend their lead 4-1 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Top of the 5th inning here, 4-1, the Mets lead. As the Phillies have 8-9-1 due up. As Cody Clemens steps in, 0-for-1, a fly out back to left field. First pitch in there. It's outside, called for a ball, 1-0. This gives confidence now to Carrasco, who has 54 pitches under his belt so far tonight. This is a fly back. Left field side, out of play. 2-0. Mets trying to win a series here against Philadelphia. Phillies trying to tie things up to go into the rubber game series. This is going to be a line drive into right field, down for a base hit, leadoff base hit, to get the 5th inning going here for the Philadelphia Phillies. There's a nice pitch down low at the knees, just right over the first baseman's head. And with that, we'll head to the number 9 spot, Edmundo Sosa. 1-for-1 solo home run in this 3rd. Here's the first pitch inside for a ball. I mean, if you're Carrasco, I say you need to. I mean, I think it's simple. It has to be a go home inning. This one's out in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. You got to just go down 1, 2, 3, or minimum damage as possible. Get back into the dugout. Be able to get to the 6th, possibly 7th. And I could see 6 innings, 7th inning going, maybe. This is an opportunity for another great performance by a Mets pitcher. This one's in there, called for a strike. Outside corner, 92, 4-seam fastball. And it's Carrasco doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the pitch clock is not up there for Carrasco throughout the game. 93, 94 on fastballs. Better called time as he steps back into the plate, ready to go. The only time he has for the at bat. This one is up high for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, there's a runner on first, nobody out. A double play warranted for the Mets. Because then we hit the top of the lineup in Stutt, who is 1 for 2, singled back in the third. This one's in there, called for a strike. Worked himself to a full count. Would not expect Clemens to take off with 1 away. Decent crowd here in Citi Field. And he goes. Swings, lined right at third. For Lindor, he'll grab it. Tosses it back at first. And an interesting double play. Line an L6 to a 6-3. That's how I'm going to put it. And Sosa was not expecting that. And I think you could also put a little bit of fault on Clemens and for taking off on second with the 3-2 pitch. And I personally wouldn't have sent him. And I don't know if Philadelphia, if the third base coach sent him as the first pitch into Stott is a called strike. It's 1 for 2. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And this is chop foul. But I wouldn't have sent him. I mean, I hope that this doesn't come back to haunt Philadelphia and ultimately losing the game for them. Because it could have been a missed opportunity. Here's the 0-2 that's up high. And I think, when you talk about how Philadelphia plays, a lot of games being won are simple, are capitalizing on opportunities and capitalizing on missed opportunities. Also, this is lined right back to Lindor, right up the middle. A throw off the back foot to first, and he got him in. Well, we thought it was going to be a damage control, but it turned out to be a 1-2-3 inning. Mets up front 4-1. You guys are listening to Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. One, two, three, top of the lineup, dude. The Mets here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Welcome on back here to the throw-in to the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Excuse me, making that mistake for daily podcast we do to our program here, and it's been a whirlwind of events so far. 4-1 Mets lead as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. 1, 2, 3, beginning off with Brandon Nimmo. And we're also going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. There we go. As the first pitch into Nimmo is in there for a called strike. 0-1 pitch swing and a miss, strike two. We'll kick things off. We'll kick things off in Detroit, where the Tigers beat the Rangers 3-2 today. Afternoon games halfway through the week. Here's the 0-2 count for Nimmo. And swing and a miss. Foul tip back into the glove of Romuto and one away. Francisco Lindor 0 for 2. He's up with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. The Angels beat the White Sox 12-5 as the Cubs lose to the Rays 4-3. Something you don't necessarily see all that much. Both Chicago teams home. This one's down low for a ball, 1-0. Pop up and a fly out for Lindor. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's chopped out. 1-1. But you saw Chicago and both the White Sox and the Cubs lose at home today. The Guardians beat the Orioles 12-8 as the Braves beat the Athletics 4-2. The Pirates beat the Giants 9-4 and the Nationals who beat the Dodgers 10-6. As the 1-1 pitch is down low in the dirt, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Games in progress still. Moved to the top of the 8th inning between the Padres and the Marlins as the Padres are leading 1-0. Milwaukee has a 2-0 lead over Toronto. This is fouled left right field side. It's 2-2 now to Lindor. The Red Sox have a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning in Boston. As the Astros and Twins are in the midst of the second inning, tied at 0. Here's the 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually. Nope, swing and a miss goes Lindor, 2 away. Yep, Romuto hung on to that at a swing and a ball down in the dirt. Lindor wasn't too happy. Nola fly out to let center field going. Making the grab is the center fielder, Brandon Marsh, to end the inning. A nice running grab by, and I'm sorry, excuse me, that was Francisco Lindor. I thought that, listen, that was a ball down in the dirt when he strung and a miss. Apparently the home plate umpire called it a foul tip. So there's now 2 outs for McNeil. Takes first pitch for a strike. So I was confused there. I know Lindor didn't look too happy about it. So my mistake. Nice little error there. No balls, 1 strikes to McNeil. It's in there called for a strike. Games going on a little later on this afternoon at 9:40. We'll have the Colorado Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Free game of the day on MLB TV. And then the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners at 9:40. So nobody on, 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-1 the Mets lead. Here's the pitch. It's downloaded in the dirt ball. Aaron Nola is one of 3 pitchers with 1,000 strikeouts since 2018. Ooh, wow. This is a check swing with the ball in the dirt. McNeil did not go around. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nola sets. He's pitch number 84. Here's the pitch. This is a fly ball right field, just foul. Hits the netting. Dives really out there in right field. That ball boy had to go back out there and get it. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's lined into left field for a base hit. A 2-out knock from Jeff McNeil keeps the inning alive. Now the question lies is this could be a pitching change. So a runner on first, 2 outs for Pete Alonso. Steps in. His pitch is outside for a ball. And it looks like, according to MLB Track, they got that a bit mixed up. Alonso 1 for 2, a single and a run. It's like a nice crowd in New York. Yankees aren't in town. Hop on the tram. Take the subway. This one's lined right back to second. Taking it on the way to first himself is Bryson Strutt, and that will end the inning. A runner stranded on first. The Mets lead 4-0. Top of the 6th inning here. Due up is a 2-3-4 spot. And Citi Field, game 2 of a 3-game series will come back tomorrow, 12:40. First pitch at 1:10 between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. The Phillies are going to have let me just see where all my paperwork is at, I think. First pitch in to Turner. It's in there for a ball. Phillies are going to have Taiwan Walker on the mound, taking on Max Scherzer. Here's a pitch. It's in there, called for a strike, 1-1. Phillies through 5, 1 hit, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Mets. 4 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Here's the 1-1. It's down low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Be Thursday daytime baseball, given thanks to StreamYard Studios. This one's fouled back. It's 2-2. StreamYard Studios create podcast videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. This one, swing fly ball out to left field. Few steps. And we see Mark Canha get under it for 1 away. June 1st wraps up, begins a new month for baseball. And just think about it. A couple weeks and we'll get to the All-Star game. Tomorrow's lineups look like this. Milwaukee is in Toronto at a 107 first pitch, as the first pitch to Bryce Harper is on the outside for a ball, 1-0. Nobody on, 1 away. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This is swing lined into right field for a base hit. And with 1 away, Harper gets things going. Harper was 1 for 2. Now he makes it 2 for 3 in this game. And remember at the beginning of the year, he was hit, he was kind of off, banged up. Got hurt a little bit. I remember last year he was out, got injured at a Padres series. Came back. And man, I don't see he had been the same. This is a hit over to Lindor. Lindor to McNeil. Harper's out on second, but there's no play done with McNeil. You get the force out at second, that's fine. So it will be a 6'4" put out. And that was probably because the way that Lindor threw the ball, he threw it sidearm and a little low. McNeil did not test it. Good choice, though. Kyle Schwarber steps up, 0 for 2. Tomorrow's ball games: Milwaukee, Toronto, 107, 110 Padres, Marlins for game of the day. So first pitch to Schwarber is outside for a ball, 1-0. Don't forget the Phillies game at 1:10. We'll be bringing you that game. 3:40 Eastern, Colorado Rockies in Arizona. 7:10 is Boston and Cincinnati. This one's down to the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Cincinnati coming home to face Milwaukee afterwards, beginning on Friday. Guardians in Minnesota at 7:40, and then at 8:10, Angels and the Astros. This one's up high. 3 balls, no strikes to Schwarber. Beginning a 4-game series with the Halos. The New York Mets are 14-0 has a 14-0 record when the Mets lead with the starting pitcher going 6+ innings. See if they could extend it here as Carrasco throws a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Carrasco sets. Here's the pitch it's on the outside, and a walk is issued. Here comes the pitching coach. 79 pitches. And we'll take a quick word from our Pitching mound visit, thanks for the New York Mets, as JT Realmuto steps in. 0 for 2. He struck out both times at the plate. One swing and one looking. First pitch is in there, called for a strike. 2 runners on, 2 outs, and a 4-1 Mets lead, top of the 6th inning. This one's chopped foul. It's 0-2. I'd like to invite you out to the Taco Festival in Cincinnati this summer, June 23rd to the 25th. Enlighten Studios likes to extend the volunteer out to you. If you guys would like to volunteer, there are time slots available for the weekend. Help the vendors distribute the wonderful foods, drinks, and so much more. There's a grinder to third, flip over to first, and in time for an out. Volunteer today and keep your tips. Head on over, email enlightenstudios.cincy@gmail.com for more information. Couple man stranded at the bottom of the 6th inning, 4-1 Mets here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Alrighty, we welcome you back here to the Phillies and the Mets as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. June 3rd, according to 2 sources, is this Saturday, June 3rd, is the New York Mets Hall of Fame ceremony. Productions begin at 3:30. First pitch is in there for a strike for Brett Batley. The New York Mets today announced that the infielder Howard Johnson, left-handed pitcher Al Leiter, and broadcaster Gary Cohen and Howie Rose will be inducted to the Mets Hall of Fame on Saturday, June 3rd, in a pregame ceremony prior to the 4:10 start against the Blue Jays. This one's in there, called for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes to Batley. Will be held at Citi Field. Congratulations to the current players and broadcasters. One shot foul. Howard Johnson, Al Leiter, Gary Cohen, Howie Rosie. And I think broadcasters are just as important as players. I mean, although, hey, listen, players, you go do this for years, but there's the 0-2 pitch. This is down and dirty, just 1-2. But broadcasters, see, they got to endure the the heat, the sweat. They got to wear those uniforms. They got their own uniforms they have to wear. It may not have a jersey number or a logo on it, but they sit up in a booth all day. Sometimes there's AC, sometimes there's not. The doors open, the windows open. Here's a swing and a miss, and one out goes down Brett Beatley. Starling Marte 0 for 2 is up next. And yeah, you go do it for years. And, broadcasters are the ones that I would say get fans hooked onto the game. Is the first pitch to Marte. It's outside. And I remember growing up and listening to for me, there's a lot of people will say Vince Scully, and all those great broadcasters. Here's a chop foul and so on too. But I grew up listening to San Diego Padres, and you can't talk Padres baseball without talking Jerry Coleman and Ted Leitner for so many years, listening to the stories. And for me, those were the two guys that painted the picture not only on the field. Here's the 0-2, it's up high. But they knew a lot about baseball, but they had stories about about pastime history. We're talking all the way back in the day with Mickey Mantle, and these are just remembrance times, and you couldn't go to you can't listen to a ball game without listening to them. This one's outside in the dirt. Count goes 2-2 to Marte. Jerry Coleman, rest in peace, and Ted Leitner, I wish he would be calling ball games still, but these were two, I would say they left legacies out there broadcasting. And for me, listening to ball games, here's a 2-2 chop foul along the third base side. And these were guys who left legacies, and left memories. I would go to sleep a lot of times listening, and I still today I prefer listening to a ball game. Like, I'll watch a ball game to listen to the radio broadcast. And this is chop fat back to the screen. 2-2. Mets are 10-8 against the NL East. Phillies 3-5. Dead last. But stories that just reminisce with me. That's how I became a fan of baseball and San Diego Padres. Here's a grounder to second. Scooping it up is Stott, who will toss it over to first for out number 2. So, I know, broadcasting here, I'm not gonna try to be anyone better than these legends, but they deserve it. They go on the road with you. They do the spring training. They got they got to grab your attention into the game somehow, even when you're not playing so well. First pitch is in there, called for a strike. I mean, there's many years that San Diego has their fair share of ups and downs, times where you just like, why am I tuning in? But it was the broadcasting, radio broadcasting, television too. They endure a lot. This one's on the inside. It's 1-1. So I give a lot of kudos to broadcasting. This isn't an easy gig to do, and if you guys are out here doing it, I applaud you. And they have pre-game stuff, post-game stuff. They're working full-time jobs there. This one's down in there, called for a strike though. Count goes 1-2 to Vogelback. Calls times to take a little break, probably to shake off that last pitch he didn't agree with. 2 outs, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th inning. Daniel Vogelback, who has not recorded he had 2 at bats. He scored in the 3rd, but both of them were issued by walks. Nola is well over 100 pitches. Pitch number 103. This is popped up in the infield. Sosa is there to grab it along the third base side to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Mets. We're through 6. Mets out front 4-0 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Top of the 7th here, pitching change for the New York Mets. The night is over with Carlos Carrasco. We'll talk about him in a minute. But we got Brooks Raley, who last pitched back on Sunday against Colorado. He's 1-0 with the 3.18 ERA. In 17 innings, he's pitched 17 strikeouts. He's pitched in 21 games. He's 1 for 2 in save opportunities. He's allowed 12 hits, 6 walks, 3 home runs allowed. As he comes into the 7th, as the Mets have a 4-1 lead. Bunt shown by Marsh. Bunt fouled. It'll be Marsh, Clemens, Sosa, 7, 8, 9 due up here in the top of the 7th inning. As the Phillies trail by 3, 9 outs for them remaining. Here's a pitch in there called strike 0-2. Today's pitching change is given to you thanks to Spreaker from iHeartRadio. You could create and upload podcasts, distribute, and see analytics. Be able to monetize, all thanks to Spreaker.com. A swing and a miss goes down. Marsh for out number 1. First out of the inning, we get you to the New York Mets and Carlos Carrasco's day. He goes 6 innings for 6 hits allowed, giving up 1 run, and that was the home run by Sosa. First pitch is in there called for a strike for Cody Clemens, who's 1 for 2. Walked 1 batter and struck out 4. His ERA is 5.74. This is a hit foul ball, so 1-2. He's up in the line for the win this afternoon, as he pitched a total of 82 pitches. 52 of them were strikes. Here's the 0-2. This one is chopped foul again, staying alive. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's down low for a ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talking about Hall of Fame ceremonies. On the weekend series Saturday, August 12th at Citizens Bank Park, the Philadelphia Phillies will induct John Quinn and Willie Carpenter alongside Scott Rowland. This pitch is lined up right back up the middle for a base hit. So it's a 1-out knock by Clemens as he goes 2 for 3 this evening. And coming up is Edmundo Sosa, who is 1 for 2. He homered back in the third and swapped places with Clemens back in the fifth. Scott Rowland, John Quinn, Willie Carpenter will be joining the honorary Toyota Phillies Hall of Fame this year. It's an alumni weekend festival before the Phillies and the Minnesota Twins game at Citizens Bank Park. Scott Rowland is unable to attend the ceremony there. This hits line fly ball, left field foul. Count goes 0-2 for Sosa. So in that case, September 22nd, Rollins will be honored at the Phillies and Mets game at Citizens Bank Park. It will be a Friday night game. Toss back over to first. So that's your Phillies honorary class of 2023 Hall of Fame. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss, goes down. Goes down Sosa. Back of the lineup, 2 outs, 1 on. As the Phillies trail 4-1. Stepping in is Stott. And a line to right field past the diving second baseman. And with 2 outs, 2 runners will be on, 1 in scoring position for Trey Turner. Well, it's a nice diving attempt by McNeil at second as he was diving towards a right field foul territory. Couldn't make it, slides right into right field, and everyone holds up at their respected next base. So runners on first and second, 2 away. Trey Turner 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts tonight. We'll see if the Phillies could capitalize. And the first pitch is on the outside plate. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-1. And this is when you have this lineup. It's an impeccable lineup. I'm going to say that it's an impeccable lineup for here, because you got Turner, you got Harper. The heart of lineup, getting out of this will be a very big key out, as the 1-1 pitch is on the outside plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. You definitely don't want to pitch to Bryce Harper, who's 2-3. Rowley checks at second. Those are the first, down low, 3-1. Harper's up next. Now, the Mets do have a pitcher in the bullpen warming up, and I'm assuming you would go to him if you walk Turner. Harper singled in the first and in the 6th inning. 2 on, 2 outs, 3-1 count. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, big strike, full count. I mean, now you know Stott, and now you know Clemens is going to be taken off and running. The runners go, and a John line right down to third, throws over to first in time for the out. Nice backhand stop by third baseman Brett Parbatty. Leaves a couple men on as the Mets head to the 7th inning stretch with a 4-1 lead. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel on Major League Baseball. Sarah Anthony Dominguez is the new pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. 24 games, 4.5 ERA, 20 innings pitched, 22 hits allowed. From Dominican Republican, last outing was back on Thursday, as the first pitch is on the inside for a ball. 8-9-1 due-up. Mark Canha, he's 2 for 2. He's homered and singled. This one is chop foul. It's 1-1. Canha had a 2-run home run back in the third as he calls for time. Steps back in the plate, ready for the pitch. Here's the delivery. Check swings, but the unplayed umpire calls it a strike. Ball right down the middle. 4-seam fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. We end the month of May, and something maybe to look back on, maybe not to look back on as we move forward. Here's the 2-2. This one's hit foul. As we look at right now the track record, the Mets are 13-9 at home, while the Phillies are 11-19 on the road. Here's the 2-2. That's on the inside corner. 3-2. The Phillies are also 12-22 against teams that are with a 500 greater record. Wow. Here's a 3-2 pitch. This is fouled back. Nito up next. Nobody out, nobody on. Here's the payoff pitch. It's one swing and a miss and goes down. Canha for the first out here in the 7th. Tune us back in the top of the 8th inning for the Philadelphia Phillies trivia question given by Useful Trivia. You can leave your answers in the comments below. While you're there, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button for more content. Like I said, we'll be back again tomorrow. First pitch to Nito is outside for a ball, 1-0. We'll be back again tomorrow. 12:40 pregame show. 1:10 first pitch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This is hit out to center field. Diving catch, couldn't get to it. Is the center fielder for the Phillies. And Brandon Marsh, excuse me. So a 1-out base hit. A nice diving play. Just knew he wasn't going to get to it. And just like that, one of the things that we'll be talking about at the end of the game is that one mistake that the Phillies made last inning to kind of get things going. And a matter of fact, it's probably that mistake that could cost them the game. This is popped up high in the infield for second baseman Stott, and he'll make the grab for 2 away. Francisco Lindor's up 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch. It's inside for a ball. The New York Mets are 13-15. And that's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. As the Phillies are 10-15 in the month of May. Today being the 31st, the last game of the month, trying to finish things off. But neither team is going to be able to be above 500. So both teams hitting the street. This is a foul tip. Count goes 2-1 to Lindor. Two balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. This is chopped right to second. Over to Stott, throws it over to first, and that will retire the side. A runner strands after 7. The Mets lead 4-1 here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Eighth inning here as the Mets lead 4-1. Welcome on back to the throw-in here on the to the Major League Baseball, on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Philadelphia Phillies trivia questions given to you thanks to usefultrivia.com. Check out their webpage for all the information and whatnot. And today's trivia question for the Phillies in the 8th inning is, which Phillies pitcher threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in the same game? As Raley steps back up to pitch the 8th inning. He's coming into the 8th inning at 18 pitches. First pitch to Harper is in there, swings, almost swung out of his shoes in their first strike. Harper's 2 for 3, 2 singles. Checking on his inside leg. Took a lot out of him. Which Phillies pitcher threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in the same game? Is it A, Roy Halladay, B, Jim Bunning, C, Johnny Lush, or D, Rick Wise? As the 0-1 pitch is swinging a miss for a strike. He could have tweaked that back left leg as he really swung heavily on that first pitch. Took a couple extra seconds. This one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You get worried about Bryce Harper injury lately. It's fouled back 1-2. So which pitcher threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in the same game? Roy Halladay, A. Jim Bunning, B. Johnny Lush is C. Rick Wise is D. We'll let you know at the bottom of the answer. Leave your answers, comment the answers in the channel comment section below. Swing and a miss, goes down Harper, one away here in the 8th inning. And that will do it for Raleigh, who pitched an inning and a third. A pitching change. We'll tell you all about it when we come on back here. Major League Baseball on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Pitching change here for the New York Mets as Raleigh pitched an inning and a third, hitting through 4 batters as Adam Ottavino steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a 4.35 ERA with 21 strikeouts, taking on Nick Castellanos. And this one's popped up high to center field for Nemo. Few steps to the left to make the grab, 2 outs. Last pitch was last night where he went 1 inning, walking 1, striking out 1. Looking to conclude. The first pitch in there to Schwarber is called strike. Looking to get to the team, get his team to the 9th inning with a lead 4-1. Will probably save up a save opportunity for David Robinson. And here's a swing chop foul along the first base side. Schwarber is 0 for 2 with the walk. Against Adam Ottavino, he's 2 for 2 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Here's the 0-2 count. Foul back. Top of the 8th inning, no one on, 2 outs. Pitch clock hasn't been a problem in this evening's game. Well, it's a hit or miss. And as I mentioned earlier in today's ball game, it's especially for your starting pitchers. This can really throw off. I think that pitchers have had more complications adjusting to the pitch clock. Here's the 0-2, and this one's chopped fouled again. But pitchers have more problems adjusting because it's more of a situational trying to get themselves into the right groove and Batters just have to get back into the box, and it's very easy. Here's a pitch and swing and a miss. Goes down Schwarber. 1-2-3 goes the Phillies. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning for the Mets lead 4-1. A beautiful night in Citi Field here as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Phillies, Andrew Velazquez from Rancho Cucamonga, drafted 2015 with the Minnesota Twins. Steps up for the Phillies to take on the Mets. 3-4-5, heart of the lineup. Andrew's 1-0 with a 1.48 ERA. First pitch is called for a ball to Jeff McNeil. 1 for 3, singled. 289, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. 22 strikeouts for Andrew. This one's in there called for a strike. Last game pitched was back on Saturday against the Braves. So he goes 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, striking out 2 batters. A hit right back to second. Throws it over to first in time. Stumbled it, juggled it a little bit, threw it over and a lot closer than expected. For out number 1. Tonight's trivia question for the Philadelphia Phillies here in this inning. Which Phillies pitcher threw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in a single game? First pitch to Pete Alonso is in there for a strike. Is it A, Roy Halladay, B, Jim Bunny, C, Johnny Lush, or D, Rick Wise as the 0-1 pitch is up in? Oh, I'm thinking Rick Wise. I don't know. This is a stumper for me. I'll give you guys a few more seconds to lock in your answers under the comment section. This one's hit fly over the shortstop's. Ooh, nope. That'll be over the shortstop's head, but he's just backpedaling at his Turner to get in time. 2 away. We'll pop out 6. As David Robinson, who came out last night to save the ball game, he's warming up in the bullpen. I'm going to choose D, Wick Rise. And the first pitch is in there for Batty. Called for a strike. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. Tell you the correct answer after this. This one's on the inside corner. Called for a strike. And the correct answer is Rick Wise. A few players have ever had a better game than Wick Rise did on June 23rd, 1971, when the 25-year-old pitched a no-hitter and had 2 home runs to lead the visiting Philadelphia Phillies to a 4-0 victory over the Cincinnati Reds at Riverfront Stadium. It's as if fly ball out to left field, going to the warning track of the foul territory to make the grab is right fielder Kyle Schwarber. It's going to be Remuto, Marsh, and Clemens due up about top of the 9th inning. Save situation here. Mets lead 4-1 on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Save situation for the Mets here as David Robinson is coming up to pitch for the Mets. He pitched last night in a save situation. Prior to that, he pitched on Friday night, picked up the save as well. Last night, he gave up 1 hit in 1 inning, striking out 1 batter, as he's 2-0 on the season with the 1.54 ERA, 9 saves recorded, and 27 strikeouts. Davidson's 2006, drafted with the New York Yankees, round 17 from Birmingham, Alabama. And he's going to have to go on and face the and I had it right here. He's going to have to face on the 6, 7, and 8 spot due up. The Miami Marlins beat the San Diego Padres 2-1 after scoring 2 runs. It was a walk-off single by Nick Fortes to pick up the victory, as the first pitch into Remuto is inside for a ball. 1-0. Be sure to tune in to the post-game show, the TNC Sports Talk post-game show, given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios, as the 1-0 pitch is inside 2-0. The post-game show is given to you thanks to StreamYard Studios. Create podcast videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch, and it's in there, called for a strike, 2-1. Phillies trying to avoid being beat in this series. Mets could hold off a victory tonight, go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon. Here's the 2-1. That's swing and a miss. Half swing goes down. 2-2 to Remuto. Remuto 0 for 3. He struck out, swinging, looking, and grounded to third base in his 3 outings. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's down in the dirt. Tomorrow's ball game will have Taijuan Walker taking on Max Scherzer. Both have 4-2 records on the season. That first pitch is 1:10. You could tune right back in here at 12:40 for the TNC Sports Talk pregame show. This one's flied out to center field. A few steps back is Nimmo, and he'll make the grab for 1 away. Coming up on the pregame show, we'll get you the highlights, thoughts, scores around Major League, and a preview of tomorrow's ball game. Stay tuned afterwards for the TNC Sports Talk postgame show. Brendan Marsh 1 for 3 as Robertson steps to the plate and he delivers a ball down in the dirt 1-0. Not a great way to end off the month of May if you're Philadelphia. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. But it got to be nice. Hey, neither team is going to finish above 500 this month, and I guess you're going to have to accept that. But it would be nice to finish off the month of May with the victory. This one's in there, called for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Marsh. Well, I guess Phillies will get a chance to probably come back tomorrow and try to start the month of June off with the start. This one's foul tip. It's been a decent game. A couple of home runs here and there early on. It's been a solid pitching match. As we look at Aaron Nola, Nola went 6 innings, giving up 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts, giving up a home run. This one's hit softly into right field for a 1-out base hit. And so with 1 out, the Phillies threaten. Well, I'm going to say it's not all over until all 27 outs are made. This one actually tipped off the glove of Robertson and rolled into right field. So a nice, easy play. I would say playable. McNeil was backing up Robertson. I'll look for the double play. Cody Clemens steps up. He's 2 for 3. It's in there, called for a strike. Clemens, he flew out and 2 singles on his resume this afternoon. 268 full home runs, 10 RBIs. The leadoff on first. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a strike. Down by 3. I think it's important just to get on base. You got Edmundo Sosa, who homered back in the 3rd inning of this ball game. Gave the Phillies the only lead, and actually they only took in the lead. This one hit off the back of the foot, on the back foot of Clemens. And so with 1 out, got things going. And this is going to be, looks like Schwarber is going to, Buck Schultz-Walton was wanting to maybe look at that. But here we go. 9th batter of the lineup here for Philadelphia. Edmundo Sosa steps up. First pitch, a heavy swing and a miss for a strike. A runner on first and second, 1 away. Phillies down by 3, top of the 9th inning. What turns into be an interesting ball game, we'll wait to see if the Phillies could get a couple runs in here. Someone's on the outside corner, called for a strike. 0-2. Yeah, 0-2. Robertson looks back at seconds, delivers the home, and that's a foul. I'm wondering if that actually hit the front right foot on the outside of the foot. That must not have been pleasant for Clemens. Here's the 0-2. That's a swing and a miss. And goes down Sosa. And The Phillies are down to the last strike of the ball game as we head to the top of the lineup and Stud. Well, it's being impatient at the plate. You're putting yourselves in a position where you have to fight for it, and it causes you to swing at pitches out and away. Heavy swing and a miss for Stutt. It's 0-1. He's 2 for 4 today. 2 singles back in the third and the seventh. 5 home runs on the list. Mets looking to close things out. Robertson at pitch number 20. He sets, looks at second baseman. Throws it outside corner for a ball. Looking at Marsh at second base there. Be back again tomorrow at 12:40 pregame show. First pitch at 1:10. I want to thank StreamYard Studios for broadcast availabilities, streaming services, as this one's Chop Foul. It's 1 and 2. Everyone's on their feet for the Phillies' final out. Oh, 1-2 and a mound visit. Trying to relook at calls. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that goes down Stud, and that will complete the game. A little nerve-wracking as the Phillies strand a couple of runs here in the top of the ninth, but Robertson comes out for the second straight night to save things in New York. The Mets pick up a 4-1 victory in Game 2 of this 3-game series, secure the series victory, looking to go for the sweep tomorrow. We're going to step aside and come on back and give you line score rallies before the pregame show, the postgame show. Final score, Mets 4, Phillies 1. You're listening to the Major League Baseball here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Alrighty, welcome back here to Major League Baseball on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. And final score for tonight's ball game: the Mets beat the Phillies game 2 of a 3-game series and taking the series over the Phillies guaranteed with the final line score of 4-1. And hey, listen, this was an interesting game. You had two great pitchers, Carlos Carrasco, Aaron Nola, and I think it was, there was a couple mistakes. Aaron Nola leaving that one ball out too far over the plate for Mark Canha with that 2-run home run back in the third inning. And that was really all was done. The Mets pitching has been really dominant this past couple nights, shutting out the Phillies night one, keeping them to 1 run last night. And they're going to go in tomorrow looking to do the same thing. And if you're Philadelphia, something has to kind of thrive, put together. There was plenty of opportunities. I mean, look at this line score. They had 9 hits tonight, 4 more than the Mets, but they couldn't score them in. They had hits in every inning except the 8th and the 4th inning. And, I don't know what happened, but they just seemed that they were unable to score in runs and being able to take one here. And they had plenty of opportunities to do so. Winning pitcher for tonight will be Carlos Carrasco, as he goes 2 for 2 with now a 5.74 ERA. Aaron Nola picks up his 4th loss on the season as he goes 4-4, extending to a 4.70 ERA. Save is David Robinson for his 10th save on the season and a 1.48 ERA. And, great pitching. And even Aaron Nola had a really good pitching out there. Tomorrow's ball game, like I said, we will be back again tomorrow to call tomorrow afternoon's ball game. 1:10 first pitch. We'll be here live for the pregame show at 12:40. And it's going to be Philadelphia Phillies Taijuan Walker taking on the New York Mets, Max Scherzer. The New York Mets move out to 29-27, still 4 games out of first place with Atlanta. They are still in third place because Miami picked up the victory over the Padres. The Phillies moved to 25-30, back to 7.5 games of the Atlanta Braves. So that is the line score for today. We'll come on back, take a break. We're going to head to the post-game show coming up in here in just a few moments. I'd like to invite you to stay tuned. The TNC Sports Talk Show post-game show is about to begin. We'll give you an out-of-town scoreboard update, our final thoughts on the game, and a quick trip look at what's to come tomorrow afternoon in the series finale. The New York Mets are going in tomorrow looking for a sweep, as the Philadelphia Phillies looking to avoid a sweep. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. Also want to give a huge shout out to StreamYard Studios, the streaming services of this ball game. And StreamYard Studios create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Also want to give a big shout out to Canva, which all the videos, presentations, commercials, everything is presented by thanks to Canva. All right, post-game show coming up next. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Phillies and the Mets here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Alrighty, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the TNC Sports Talk post game show. My name is Justin, and I will be giving you a breakdown of tonight's ball game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Game two of a three-game series just wrapping up here, where the New York Mets beat the Phillies. Final line score 4-1, and I gotta say it was a fun game to call. Getting back into it, calling felt a little bit of sloppy back on Monday, felt really good today. Felt more prepared, and you know, I've been talking about it all afternoon, and this is the type of series that I like to be calling because these are competitive divisional games. I was trying to contemplate over which ones I should call. I was actually thinking about calling the Padres this afternoon. Um, but, and it's one of those, I think, for me, when I get a chance to call a ball game, we really don't know what type of game we're going to get, whether it's a pitching one, whether it's an offensive battle. And I really kind of felt like we were going to get in more of a pitching duel today because we saw, Carlos Carrasco. We've had uh, Aaron Nola to the mound, and really two really top, you know, starting pitchers coming into the ball game. But and so we kind of saw that. I mean, Carrasco did really good. Carrasco went 6 innings, giving up only 6 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts. I mean, I really like both of their performances. I even still liked Aaron Nola's performance, even though he picked up the big L. And there really wasn't a lot of room for error. There was, the 2-run home run by Mark Canha, which Aaron Nola just left the ball over the plate, and then he kind of got into the jam in the fourth inning, where we had where we saw a 2-run RBI by a single RBI single from Mark Canha, who drove in Alonso and Batty to make it a 3-1 game, but 4-1 game. But other than that, I mean, it was, I think, one of the things that got Nola off of his game. I don't know how much you guys want to consider this was a pitch clock issue with Nola tonight, but I really saw him struggling trying to get into the groove, and this caused him not to locate his pitches and really get deep into count. He went in 6 innings that he pitched, he went in above 100 pitches tonight, and he started the game. The first 2 innings he pitched under 30 pitches compared to Carrasco. Carrasco started off with the high pitch count, but he settled in and he went through the rest of the night very, very smooth. And then you get into the bullpen, and it feels like the Mets bullpen knows how to dominate Philadelphia. But for Aaron Nola tonight, it just looked like he was not capable of getting himself into the position, into the rhythm that he wanted to get into. And that ultimately what got a hold of, giving up the 4 runs over a span of 2 innings. I mean, other than that, he was pitching very good. He went through the first 6 batters with ease. He got into, you faced 4 batters in the fifth, 3 batters in the sixth. So I think he looked decent. It's just, he started having difficulty settling in because of the pitch clock. And, this is where the debate is arguable. You're right. The pitch clock can be, a pitcher's friend, or it can be a batter's friend. And tonight we saw it more of a batter's friend than anything else, because, especially for Aaron Nola, who I think was trying to just, he didn't have enough time after he pitched to get himself focused and get himself set and get himself ready to go. And I just feel like he was off rhythm tonight. So, I think that's what, for me, that's where the key surprise was for defensive side. Offensive side, I mean, look at this. I mean, they put up 9 hits tonight, and Philadelphia was just unable to muster up a run, runs. You had that solo home run in the third inning by Sosa, and I'm like, great, something's going to happen. Maybe we're going to see a different type of game, and we're going to get started this early on. But you put this up almost every inning except for the fourth, except for the eighth. Every inning, the Phillies came up and had a runner on, and definitely, if you think about how great the Mets bullpen is, the fact that you could put runners on base and feel comfortable about everything about getting out of that jam, about getting out of that inning. I was skeptic about a couple of the pitchers that were out there. I'm like, all right, we got runners in scoring position. Can you get on it? And this is what a winning team is all about. The New York Mets moved 29-27, 4 games out of first against Atlanta here at the end of May. They finish off the month of May 14 and 16. They they go to a 2-game winning skid, 14-9, all right, at home. The Phillies moved to 25-30, 7.5 games back. They also have a 3-game losing streak. On the road, they're 11-20. And against 500 teams, they're 12-23. And I feel like Philadelphia now has backed themselves up against the wall, because you definitely don't want to go up north to or down south to Washington to face the Nationals in a 3-game series on the road after being swept by the Mets. So, Phillies are going to, have to find a way to figure out where they can come back and have themselves a win and avoid a sweep tomorrow afternoon. Well, talking about tomorrow's game, we'll talk about a little later on, but the Phillies and the Mets get squared off to take on each other. Game 3 of the 3-game series. The Mets going for the sweep. Phillies looking to be avoiding the sweep. First pitch, 1:10. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:40 for a pregame show given to you for tomorrow's ball game. When we come back, let's take a look at the out of town scoreboard. Want to give a big shout out to StreamYard Studios. Create your podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. Let's take a break. Let's continue our post game show here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. Alrighty, welcome on back here to the TNC Sports Talk post-game shows, given to you thanks to Canva. All the commercial breaks, a little video. Hold on one second. Canva. All the videos, all the ads, everything is given to you thanks to Canva. Canva is a online workstation where you could create videos, presentations, flyers, and all that stuff. Check out so check out canva.com. Let's take a trip of your out of town scoreboard here, thanks to MLB.com. For highlights, news, and scores, check out MLB.com for more information. Couple of line scores here today. Final in Detroit, the Texas Rangers fall short to the Tigers. Final score of 3-2. The Chicago White Sox fall short in Chicago, 12-5 over the Los Angeles Angels. The Cubs fall to the Rays 4-3 at Wrigley Field. The Cleveland Guardians beat the Baltimore Orioles 12 with the final score 12-8. The Atlanta Braves beat the Oakland Athletics 4-2. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Giants 9-4. The Washington Nationals put up double digits as they beat the Dodgers 10-6. Miami came back in the ninth inning to beat the Padres 2-1. Milwaukee beat Toronto 4-2 as also final score today. In this game, the Mets beat the Phillies 4-1. Current games in progress: the Cincinnati Reds are beating the Boston Red Sox, top of the ninth inning, 5-4 final score. It's been back and forth all afternoon. The Reds have earned their runs in the back end, putting up 5 in the 5th, 6th, and 7th combined. The Twins, after 6, are up, shutting out the Astros 7-0. In the top of the second inning, the Diamondbacks lead the Colorado Rockies 3-0. And it is scoreless in Seattle as the Yankees and Mariners get underway in the top of the third inning. Taking a look at Thursday's afternoon action, kicking things off at 1 o'clock. We got 3 games going. We'll have the Phillies and Mets here on the program. Pregame kicks off at 12:40. Milwaukee takes on Toronto at 1:07. Miami and San Diego will wrap up their 3-game series at 1:10. That will be the free game of the day, available on MLB TV. And then later on at 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Colorado Rockies. The Cincinnati Reds take on the Boston Red Sox, game 3 of that 3-game series at 7:10. At 7:40, we'll see the Cleveland Guardians take on the Minnesota Twins. And then the final game of the evening, a 4-game series, kicks off underway between the Angels and Astros tomorrow night at 8:10. Take a look at the quick standings as we progress here, as the National League East completed all their games today. We will see the Atlanta Braves remain in first place at 33-23. Miami and New York, the Mets, will be at 29-27, 4 games back. And Philadelphia Phillies remain in fourth place, 25-30, 7.5 games back. And the Washington Nationals are 24-32 at 9 games back. Over there, according to the rest of you could check all the other divisional standings heading over to MLB.com/standings. That is MLB.com/standings. All right, let's come on back and give you a final line score and actually pay a true visit of what's to happen tomorrow in the series finale between the Phillies and the Mets. You guys are listening to the TNC Sports Talk post-game show here on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. We want to go ahead and thank everyone who has tuned in to our presentation of Major League Baseball here tonight on the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. If you guys are visiting us on the YouTube page, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Be sure to have those notifications on and don't miss a single episode or game available. Also, you could check us out on Facebook and Twitter if you guys are watching us live there. Be sure to like our page and share with a friend. Let us know that we go live periodically for more information. Also, want to give a big shout. I want to also direct you guys to our #1 source page. If you guys have missed any content from the TNC Sports Talk Show's brand, be sure to head on over to www.tncsportstalkshow.com. That is www.tncsportstalkshow.com. You can catch out all the audio podcasts, catch out all the YouTube videos, all the vlogs, contact list, merchandise page, you name it. One site you guys could go to check out everything TNC Sports Talk YouTube, TNC Sports Talk Show brand. It's at www.tncsportstalkshow.com. Also, would like to invite you out to a couple of festivals this coming up summer in the Cincinnati area, beginning with the Italian Festival from June 8th to through June 11th. Join Enlighten Studios and volunteering your time and services by heading out to the festivals, volunteering your time with the vendors. Volunteer today. Keep your tips at these upcoming festivals. For more information, check email enlightenstudios.cincy@gmail.com. That is enlightenstudios.cincy@gmail.com. All right, final line score for tonight's ball game between the Phillies and the Mets. The Phillies put up one run, the Phillies put up one run with 9 hits, 1 home run, a total of 13 bases, 9 men left on base, and 0 errors. For the New York Mets, it's 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 home run with 8 total bases, and 4 men left on base. Moments of the game, Carlos Carrasco picks up the victory as a top performer, going 6 innings, giving up 6 hits and 1 run, striking out 4. Mark Canha goes 2 for 3 with the home run, 4 RBIs, and 4 runs. And Cody Clemens goes 2 for 3 with the hit by pitch. And, you know, I think I got to say, I'll say this for everyone here. Top performers here offensively, I got to throw Daniel Vogelbach. He walked twice, scoring in the 3rd inning, and then he popped out. And then you also go down to Mark Canha, who hit a 2-run blast in the 3rd, and then had a 2-run RBI single in the 4th, and then he struck out in the 7th. These are key elements because for all 4 runs were scored in by Mark Canha. The best offensive performance of the game, I'm going to have to say MVP of the game, is Mark Canha. And to think about players like Vogelbach and Canha, who came over from teams, over throughout the years from Oakland. Oakland produces some really nice ball players. And it's nice to see guys like Canha, who's played, for a couple other teams that has not necessarily contended the ways that the Mets have contended. I think that's fun. I think that's another level. It takes it to the next step. When you talk about building the opportunity, both Daniel Vogelbach, both Mark, these are 2 guys who are making the most of it. And it was really the bottom of the lineup tonight for the Mets that contributed to the success. Yes, you saw Pete Alonso. Yes, you saw Brett Beatley in the 4th and 5th slot, adding on to some of those hits. But it was Canha, who really got the job done down in the bottom of that rotation. And whether you were, up at the beginning, you were feared of pitching to Lindor, McNeil, Alonso, but yet again, you realistically were more feared of pitching to Vogelbach and to Canha because you didn't know what you were going to expect out of them. So it was a couple of things. One, it was the limit of mistakes. And 2, for me, this was all about being able to capitalize on opportunities, and that's what they did against Aaron Nola. I'm not saying that Aaron Nola pitched terrible, but New York just found a way to get runs in. Now, I got to also say an offensive power here that we can't go unturned for the Philadelphia Phillies, because if you look on the list, Philadelphia, in my eyes, beats New York left and right all the time, but we lack to see the performance from the core of the Phillies lineup. Turner goes 0 for 4. Harper goes 2 for 4. Castellanos goes 0 for 4. Schwarber goes 0 for 3. And Ramiro goes 0 for 4. I mean, this is the core of that lineup that takes you to the postseason. And, one of the questions I got to ask is heading into tomorrow's game is, will you see Bryce Harper in the lineup, especially after his last at bat in the eighth inning where he struck out swinging that first heavy big swing. That was, I mean, it looked like he was, he probably, I don't know if he tweaked something, but something just felt off with after that first swing with everything else. So, I was I'm very, skeptic and optimistic about that. But we have to point out two guys from the Phillies lineup tonight. That's going to be Bryson Stott. He goes 2 for 5. A couple of singles on his record, and then we can't forget the first baseman Cody Clemens, who right now is filling in some big shoes. He got hit by the pitch in the ninth to get on base, but he also knocked in a couple of singles tonight. He went 2 for 3. And just unfortunately, Philadelphia couldn't go around and score them in. But a nice offensive power for some of these younger guys, Clemens and Stott. What it brings, and then that home run from Sosa. And for me, what this does, this shows that, hey, Philadelphia, you don't have to have all your key stars be reliable for conducting a game. Yeah, they're needed and they're concluded. And you think when you got 4 or 5 guys that I just mentioned earlier, Remuto, Schwarber, Castellanos, Harper, Turner, and they're not getting run production in there. It's hard to see, it's easy to see, hey, 1, 2 of them, but to see all 5 of them, all right, what's going on? And I mean, I know, hey, listen, we also have to give a lot of credit to the defense of the New York Mets, especially with the guy. I got to tip my cap to Francisco Lindor. And you talk about one of the things and the reasons why this, the shift change gets banned and stuff like that is for opportunities like guys at shortstop and third base to make these remarkable plays. And you saw that multiple times tonight. A lot of backhanded plays by Lindor going to third base, throwing off his back foot, being able to get a ball lined up a middle. And with the shift, that would be something simple. But, you get to highlight these incredible plays. And especially there was which one was it? It was, let me see. There was the one back in the third inning where there was a couple by Trey Turner back in the third inning where, Lindor was going the opposite direction to third, and he had a backhanded throwing off his back foot and really, go for velocity of this ball. And he was able to get out Turner, and Turner's not an easy out to get. So my cap tips to Lindor, a player who, really still is showing everyone that he's still capable of being in this game. And that's what I really liked about it. So really good ball game as the Mets go to 29 and 27, and the Phillies go to 25 and 30. All right, let's take our final break of the evening. And when we come on back, we will give you a look at what's to come tomorrow and the weekend for these two ball clubs. A couple of Hall of Fame ceremonies coming up this weekend for the Mets. We'll tell you all about that coming up next here on the TNC Sports Talk post-game show. going on, everyone? Justin here from the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to you, the listeners. That's right. Without you guys, none of this is possible. I would also like to take the time and invite you out to our merchandise page, thanks to T Public. Our merchandise page is where you can find all of our brandings from the Throwing, which is currently active weekly, to the TNC Sports Talk official brands, to either the prior shows that was part of the TNC Sports Talk Foundation. Within all the brandings, you can select t-shirts for both men and female sizes, apparel such as hoodies, kids onesies, kids t-shirts, phone cases, notebooks, coffee mugs. They have a vast majority. This is why I love T Public. And right now, if you spend $80 or more, you get free shipping. And so we want to invite you out to our merchandise page by heading on over to tpublic.com/user/TNC-sport-talk, or even use the QR code up in the right-hand corner. We want to thank you guys again, the listeners, for supporting us, and we hope to see you guys out wearing our merchandise. Alrighty. Well, it was a fun game all through and through as the Mets went on to win game 2, and they have the first 2 games of the series. They will be going for the sweep tomorrow, as the Philadelphia Phillies will be avoiding the sweep tomorrow. Want to give a last big shout out, thank you to StreamYard Studios, the proud home of the TNC Sports Talk YouTube page, where you could create podcasts, videos, host virtual business meetings, and even conduct interviews. Check out their free version today at StreamYard.com. The Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets will wrap up their 3-game series tomorrow. First pitch at 1:10 p.m. Right-handed pitcher. The Philadelphia Phillies will be sending out Taijuan Walker to the mound, 4-2 with the 5.57 ERA. The New York Mets will have Max Scherzer, who is 4-2 with a 3.54 ERA. Tomorrow's games around the division, we will see the San Diego Padres and the Miami Marlins at 1:10 is their first pitch as they wrap up a 3-game series. Looking forward ahead to the ball game here this weekend for both teams. Philadelphia Phillies, after tomorrow's ball game, will head on to Washington to face the Nationals in a 3-game series, and then the New York Mets will host the Toronto Blue Jays as the Blue Jays come into town to begin the month of June. To finish off the month of May, the Phillies finish off the final month of record 10-16. New York finishes off 14-15. Mets third place in the NL East. Philadelphia fourth place in the NL East. A nice special weekend. And a matter of fact, the way that the standings are actually having it, they have New York sitting above Miami, but I mean they have the same record, 4 games back of first place. A special weekend if you are the New York Mets. If you guys are in New York and you guys want something to do Saturday night when they host the Toronto Blue Jays, the New York Mets will be hosting their Hall of Fame ceremony, inducting Howard Johnson, Al Leiter, Gary Cohen, and Howie Rosie, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame class this year. that will be announced. That will be inducted this Saturday, 3:30 special pregame ceremony, and then against the Blue Jays at Citi Field. The new additions means that there is a new total of 34 inductees into the Mets Hall of Fame. So we want to congratulate those several men being inducted into the Hall of Fame. A couple of them are broadcasters, and Gary Cohen and Howie Rosie. And I talked a lot about it. I was like, hey, listen, this is broadcasters have an incredible job too, and they got to paint that picture, and they got to do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job talking about painting the picture, whether it's on TV, trying to entertain you guys, or in finding these stories and having these conversations, or if it's even on radio. I think radios is a difficult job to do. You got to continue giving content, and then they travel with the team. They fly, the amount of help they have. They got to do a lot of pre-game, post-game work. They do a lot of research for the games and whatnot. So great stuff for broadcasting. So likes to see broadcasters get inducted to the Hall of Fame. So, all right, we will be back here tomorrow at 12:40 for the pregame show of the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. I want to thank everyone who has tuned in. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's presentation of the Phillies and the New York Mets. And until tomorrow, you guys have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Take care.